And good evening, everybody. Welcome once again to Spanning the Globe here on Wide World of Belts. I'm Mark Maggard. I'm your host this evening, and joining me tonight, to my left, your right, Mr. Richard, aka the Warden. Welcome.
Thank you for having me again.
Let me get my earbuds in. I had to leave the earbuds out so I wouldn't slur my speech. Hold on. While the intro was playing, I had to run and get Kleenex real quick. And then down below me, our in-house referee, Mr. Jim Lawrence. Welcome.
Hey,
And then to his left, Mr. Andy B from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Welcome, everybody. Let's see who we have watching tonight. We have our man from the other side of the world, Mr. Noor.
Nor.
Hey Nor.
Glad to have you.
Hey, Nor.
This is a new guy, Joshua Snare.
Hello, Josh.
Welcome. Welcome,
Josh.
Joshua.
Thank you for watching. Chris Thermo.
Hey
Good
Chris.
evening.
Hello.
What's up, Chris?
And our good buddy Drew
Drew.
Aldrich Boyer.
How you doing, Drew?
How you doing, buddy?
Ooh.
Let me get my banners going. I'm all out of source today. I've had a bad day. Last night I went to bed and went to plug my laptop in, and when I take it in the living room, I take the charger off, just so I don't have to fool with it. And when I went to go to bed last night, I went to plug it in, and the tip came off, and I couldn't find it. It was dark, and so this morning I finally found it. It had bounced under the bed, and I finally found it. And then what happened tonight? Oh, my ring light here. It had broken once before. I handled it. I think I put it down awkwardly, and it broke. So I had put it together with super glue and got it out tonight because I was kind of in a hurry. I had a lot of things going on today, and it snapped in two again. So I've got it up there with a zip tie and super glue on. And then my belt of the week video, which I'll show here in a minute, I had to upload all the stuff for it, and it wasn't cooperating, and still didn't quite turn out like I wanted to. But it is morning in Malaysia. I think it's 10 o'clock there, if I remember correctly. You commented once before it's 10 o'clock.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So it's morning coffee time.
There you go.
AD Terry, another good friend.
Hey AD.
What's going on, AD?
So I'm going to go ahead and show the belt of the week, and then we'll get on. We don't have anything special planned tonight. I've been trying to get a guest on. We have a referee who's also from Oklahoma that lives on the eastern side of the state where I live. And I get light winter weather, and when I get light winter weather, he gets heavy winter weather. So they're getting ice over there again, and he's afraid he's going to lose power lines. So we're going to get him on as soon as the weather clears up. So we're just going to wing it tonight. Who else we got here? Oh, he lives in Florida. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Richard, you might know him.
All right.
Joshua Snare. Always good
Cool.
to have a new viewer. So I'm going to show off this belt of the week. I edited it really fast, and I missed a fade there somewhere. But this is I think I put it on here. I think it's a concept belt. I got this from a middleman, a former middleman who's no longer with the hobby, and I'll leave that alone. But I got this from him. This is based on a title that was in World Class. You know, World Class actually was big in Israel, and they went over there a lot to wrestle. And they actually had a Middle Eastern title, and I believe Mike Von Erich held that title, but they never had a belt. So this was the concept belt for that title, and it may look familiar to some of you people. So here's the belt of the week. Beautiful piece of
Nice.
work, but it needs leather. The
Hmm.
leather job wasn't so good on it, but
I know a guy.
Yeah, I do too. I can.
I'll get his name after the show.
Okay, there you go.
But with that
We
in
can
mind,
look you up.
with that in mind, for new viewers, this show is sponsored by Mark Leather Championship Belt Releathering for all your releathering needs. And if you may not know, that is me. It is also sponsored by Unique Spirit Championship Belts. They make replica belts. Do a pretty good job. And I'm going to show off a belt that they made right here. We are closing in on 1,000 members in the Wide World of Belts Facebook group, and when we hit that, we're going to have a giveaway for this belt. This was made by Unique Spirit, releathered by me. I'm on full screen. Let me get this microphone out of the way. This is an oxblood strap, by the way.
That color just makes it pop. Ooh, that blue backing.
Blue
Ooh,
backing, yeah.
Look
Love
at
the
the
blue backing.
tooling. Look at that tooling.
Very nice, Mark.
Yeah, man. That oxblood makes it pop.
Yeah. And I've said this before. This oxblood was kind of a... What it was when the NWA TV first debuted, it looked like this color to me on TV. But it turns out it just got, dirty and grimy from all the handling and everything like that. But I actually like the color.
Hmm.
So,
I agree.
but I've got this one. It's going to be a giveaway belt, and I got one just like it that I'm selling. So if you're interested in that, hit me up. I did sell the US Luger US. Somebody bought it a couple days ago, and there's another guy that's been saving up for it. I've got another one I'm working on for him. So it's become popular lately. I've had a lot of people hit me up about it.
Yeah, that
Anyway.
oxblood just gives it that classic look.
Very, very kind of a rustic look to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is by Unique Spirit, who sponsors the show. And I've got one for sale, so if you're interested, hit me up after the show or during the show. I won't be able to respond until after the show. Let me put full screen. I was watching the playback last week, and I was on full screen for quite a while. Didn't even
Yeah, I
know it.
didn't know if we should say something. You did quite a.
Well, I like
I
to
was
see
gonna say-
myself on the screen.
I was
It
gonna
was
say,
about
stop
about
hogging the
15,
screen.
20 minutes. Yeah.
I remember I stayed on there longer than I meant to, but I don't know if there's a glitch or what. I don't think it was on that long, but
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. No big deal. You did great while you were on.
well, thank you. Let me show you these other comments, and we'll get Andy's belt. Everybody's got a belt they're going to show off. I just showed mine off. Well, save up. Trust me. Once you buy one, they're like potato chips. You can't
Yeah.
have just one.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Very
just-
hard to stop.
Is that-
This hobby is very addictive.
Hey,
Too
Joshua,
addictive.
man, here's how I got my first one. And this is the God's honest truth.
Little Facebook
I
user.
cut corners everywhere that I could to save money. I bought the cheapest toilet paper. I switched from Dr. Pepper to the store brand soda. Anything that you can do to save money, do it.
Prince, say little Prince.
Believe it
Prince.
or not, you can save a lot of money by not eating out.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Number one.
Hell of a
The
lot.
number one.
I've got to take issue with you one thing there, Jim. Never ever skimp on toilet paper. Never ever skimp on toilet paper.
let me say, I'm just saying, you can find where there's a will, there's a way. You can find ways to save money. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, if you're gonna
just-
do that, you might as well go out and use leaves. So
Well,
sketchy.
I'm just gonna say it this way: don't skim on the toilet paper because your fingers are gonna love it.
Well, if you just got to know the right way to buy it. Let me say
Yeah,
that.
I got you. I got you.
You can save money there. You just have to find the right way
One
to
ply is
purchase
horrible.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, one ply is horrible. Nobody likes that. But
Mm.
but I'm just saying, there's ways to get there, and a lot of places, especially if you're dealing with a maker or even like Fandu, they do layaways. So I'm now the shop, not so much. Obviously, you're gonna have to
It's
come
like
in
at
with cash.
WrestleMania time. It's about.
I love the $25 every time you get paid, put away $25. That's
Yeah.
how I got my belts.
This is a long comment. This is a record right here. Hope you all fill the walls as opposed to spirits by morning, but I want you all to know, in case you haven't figured it out, that Josh's special needs. Oh, okay. Okay. got you. I see you, Lane. Hang on a minute. We're gonna read this comment real quick.
That's fine. He's more than welcome. And
Yeah.
Okay.
we're
Yeah.
glad
Oh,
to have him.
anytime.
Glad to
Yeah.
have him.
Anytime.
If the comments aren't fit for the show, I won't put them up on the screen.
Yeah.
I just
Mhm.
won't do that. So I have to watch that because I've done that before and didn't realize before I clicked.
Thank
on
you,
it.
Josh's mom.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you for letting
Thank
us
you.
know.
Good
There's
to have
Lane.
him.
Hey, there
Hey,
he is.
After
there
after
he
a
is.
long, where's the tan? Where's the
Yeah.
tan? He's been on
Yeah, he's
vacation for 3 or 4
there
weeks.
for a while.
Yeah,
Welcome back, Lane.
Thank you, man.
good to have you back on.
Man, I'm feeling good. Oh, just 1 second. Don't go away. I finished off my antibiotic Tuesday, and I'm feeling good right now.
Good deal.
Cool.
Good to hear it. Glad to hear it. You and Kevin Davenport,
Jimmy.
the admin for Wide World of Bros, Wide World of Bells Facebook group, have all been under the weather, but you're both on the mend, and that's really good to hear. Good to have you back.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent.
who was wanting to see? Somebody's wanting to show. Nor wanted to see Andy's belt.
Yeah.
Let's show that off. Oh, I love this belt.
Oh, I
One of
love
my
that belt.
My favorites. Oh, I got it upside down. Don't.
No, you had it
Listen.
right side up.
Okay, just want to make sure I don't hold it upside. There
Yeah.
we go.
That is
One of my
beautiful.
all-time favorites. I can't believe it took me this long to get it. I just
Hey,
So the
it
wait
was
time's
worth it.
long, or you just waited a long time to get it.
took me forever to get it.
Yeah. Wow. Sweet.
But it's just so, And here's the back of it.
Now
Black
Nikita
Rock.
Koloff has the original.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He takes it with him to appearances everywhere.
Yeah.
He got it when they
That's-
did that the angle where they had the TV belts against each other, and he just had it and kept it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a nice
Now
belt.
it's the worse for wear, but
Yeah.
Drew likes it.
So I've always loved this, and finally said I'm going to add that to the collection, and just so well. I mean,
It is beautiful.
yeah.
Now, tell
I mean,
everybody who made that belt.
this was made by Azam Hussein from Shazam Belts.
Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam, and he just does great work.
He does. That
Yeah,
is
real-
beautiful. That's really
Yeah,
beautiful.
thank you.
You guys are making me want to start another wall.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
Yeah. I've just about got the money saved up for the to get my Fandu Dome Globe out of Hawk, and then my Classic Shields Dome Globe.
Ooh.
Josh likes the belt. Okay,
Oh,
now
yeah.
let's take a look at the one that's draped over Richard's shoulder there.
This is the Southwest Heavyweight Wrestling Championship. I'm not sure of the maker.
You're just trying to keep that maker a secret for yourself. I know that.
No, I don't know who the maker was. I was gifted the belt
Yeah, I know.
by a very
wow.
cool guy. Yeah,
Man.
it's got the side,
Very, very nice.
nice side
It-
plates on it.
It's beautiful, but I don't know why I feel weird not seeing lacing on that strap.
I know. I got to send it your way, but it's got your nice.
Oh, it's beautiful the way it is, but
state,
it's Oklahoma,
Oklahoma on there.
Detail
Oh,
on the
wow.
side plates is amazing.
where
Oh,
the wind
yeah.
comes
It is.
sweeping down the plains.
So I definitely need it laced. That's what I definitely need.
If you want it that way, yeah. But I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
beautiful the way it is. I was just messing with you.
Hey, Mark,
Uh,
how's the weather up your way?
Oh, you want it?
No.
I'll ship it
no.
tomorrow.
He's giving it away.
Yeah. I'm giving away for 943 members. I
Oh,
think that's
my
what we
goodness.
had. Let me check. I want to tell a story. Speaking of the weather,
Okay.
it's not really weather related, but it's just been a crazy week here. I went to I took my son for a guy's day out in Lawton, Oklahoma, which is about an hour away, and we went to Academy Sports. Josh likes these belts. Mom's going
Thank
to have to help him get a belt. But anyway, I was there, and the kids are making fun of me because I wear what they call old man shoes. So
Oh boy.
I was looking.
oh
Dad
boy.
shoes.
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
yeah, they're not orthotic or anything like that. They're just older style Nikes. But I found a pair of Nike court shoes that look really nice. They're like the Air Force shoes. So if you're familiar with the Nike Air Force, it just has a thinner sole. So they didn't have my size. So I went home. When we got home, I ordered those on the Academy website. Now, what I did not know when I ordered them is they don't come from a warehouse. They come from whatever store is close by that has that shoe in stock in my size. So they shipped it out. I ordered Saturday or Sunday. They shipped it out, and I always track anything I'm expecting. Let me smile. He's taking pictures. No pictures, please. Sorry. But anyway, I always track.
$25 plus autograph. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stole my line there.
Yeah.
Oh,
You guys have signed up for my cameo for that. But anyway, I always track packages I send or I know I'm receiving. I have that informed delivery. So this was coming USPS, so I had it tracked. Yesterday, it was out for delivery, and about 11 o'clock, my mailman, who happens to live 3 doors down from me, shows up with 2 packages. I had 3 coming. One was a bundle of boxes so I could ship belts. And my wife got something, but there was no Nike package in the shipment. And I met him at the door, talked to him, told him to be careful because it's icy out. And I went back in the house. And I thought, well, maybe he left it in the mailbox. I got a pretty big mailbox. I went out there, it wasn't in there. I thought, okay, it'll come later. He probably forgot it. So about 3 o'clock, I get a delivery exception from USPS saying there's a delivery exception due to animal interference. So I'm thinking
Okay.
George Animal Steel, but anyway, so I go out on, yeah, keep your turnbuckles put away. But I went out on the front porch to see what was going on. I didn't see a dog. I didn't see an animal. I didn't see the mailman. So I called the post office, and this is a 2-part story. This is part 1, believe it or not. So I called the post office and told them what was going on, and she said, "Well, hold on." She put me on hold. Called the mailman. She gets me back, and she says, "Your package got in with some other packages. He just found it and was going to bring it back to your house, but there was a dog in your yard, and he didn't want to get bit, so he would bring it by on his way home because he just lives 3 doors down." I said, "Okay, that's fine." Well, 10 minutes later, he shows up at my door with his box, and I said, "What's up?" He said, "Well, there's a dog across the street when I came back. Somebody had ordered 20 packages or had 20 packages coming. My box got in with those 20 packages. Now, who gets 20 packages except for Tony Thorpe?"
Gianni.
Yeah, Gianni. But anyway, he said this dog had bitten him before. He was afraid to get out of the truck. So he gives me the box. I go in, open the package. There's a Nike box there. On the outside of the box, there's an orange sticker that says display. So they pulled this shoe off the display, put it in the box, and shipped it to me. So I open it up. The shoes are in there. Get them out. They look great. Turn one over, and there's one of those electronic tags stuck through the loophole of the shoe. That's part 2 of the story. So now I got a new problem. I got this brand new shoes that I had to wait for a dog to go, run and hide so I could get the box, and now I can't get this stupid device off the shoes.
Oh no.
So I went to YouTube and found several videos that were somewhat helpful. But the best one I found was where a guy took 2 forks, slipped them in between, and pried them apart just enough where you get some wire cutters in there and trim them off. I had to be careful because those things have dye in them.
Mm-hmm.
These are white
Yeah.
shoes.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that was my day yesterday.
Oh, boy.
Oh my!
Not bell related, but it was leather related. They were leather shoes. But
Mark's rocking those Air Force dads.
my kid said, "You got Air Force?" I said, "No, I didn't get Air Force. These are court shoes." So anyway, they're not old man shoes.
No, only New Balance.
New Balance, yeah. New Balance. As old as I'm getting, me and Andy, we're going to need New Balance.
Big time here. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, what we got a war going on, don't we? I got TV on right here watching.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Crazy stuff going on right now.
I went and filled my tank this evening
CNN.
before gas goes up. But it's just bad deal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get political, but I don't see the logic in cutting off your own pipeline and then going and pissing off a country that supplies you with oil.
Exactly. Yep.
It doesn't make any sense at all. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, enough about that. Anybody got a belt coming?
I will if I
No.
order it tonight.
Don't think so.
Okay. I think I know what Richard's going to order. We talked about right before the show. Oh,
Oh yeah.
speaking of before the show,
Oh,
I'll
geez.
send the invite. I'll send the link to these guys before the show starts, and I'll step away because I got to take care of some things. I may have to go comb my hair, relieve myself, or whatever. Well,
Disclaimer.
they pop. Yeah, they pop up. They pop up on the, sometimes. Usually they show up right as the show's getting ready to start. But just in case they show up on time, and I'm not sitting at my computer, I can't put them on. I can't put them in here. So I don't want them sitting there thinking, well, you forgot about me. So I made up a thing. Cool. So I made up a thing to put up on the screen. So I'm almost hesitant to show this, but it's too funny not to share. So I made up a sign that, when the store owners, close up shop for like a lunch break or whatever, they say back in 5, 10, whatever.
Mhm.
So I made one up, and Richard came up with a suggestion that I had it on a little graphic. So I'm going to show this that nobody will ever see again except people that come on the show. So I'm sorry. I'm going to apologize ahead of time.
Says it all right there.
Yeah.
He's only saying he's taking a number one.
Yeah.
No, he's just saying.
Yeah, I'd hate to think
Number one while
what
he's
happened
doing
was doing the other thing. But
Oh boy.
Look at Lane. Lane's like, he's trying not to lose it.
yeah, he missed. Everybody else saw it except for Lane.
Yeah.
I've tried. It just took us.
We'll bring back in the hospital.
Uh-oh. Hang in there, Lane.
Okay. What are you here for now?
Oh, we gotta play.
What are the-
Josh doesn't know what to say. Oh boy, I'm sorry for that. It was too funny not to share.
Just a little humor.
Yeah. I
Nothing to
cut
be
myself
taken
doing leather.
serious.
I cut
Oh,
myself
geez.
the other day.
Ouch.
Well, I've done. I got to quit using rulers when I cut leather. I did it the same way, kind of. But I was holding a ruler. I was cutting a strap, cutting the long part, and I didn't trust myself to cut a straight line. But I earned some trust this day. But a couple months ago, I was using the ruler, and I was drawing the utility knife back, and it slipped off the ruler because I was pushing down kind of hard as a
Ouch.
dull blade, and cut myself right here on the thumb. Cut it pretty deep. So that
So that's
finally
how
heals
you
up.
get that ox blood red.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how he does it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Secrets
It's
revealed.
rarely Seven. met.
I'm the ox. I'm the ox. Anyway, El Torte,
Hey,
we're having
Duarte.
fun tonight. We're
What's
having
up?
fun tonight. I had a little rant last week. I got to laugh tonight. But so anyway, that heals up. Sunday, I believe it was, I was working on another strap, doing the same thing using a ruler, and I was very careful not to push down too hard or have the knife jump off the thing. What I wasn't paying attention to was the fact that my index finger was hanging over the edge of the ruler. And so,
Oh no.
so I draw the knife back and cut a slice right off my finger.
Ouch.
Let's see.
Ouch.
Go.
Ouch.
Oh.
You better start wearing thimbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Ouch.
so.
Something.
Wear some shark gloves, man.
I
I was
know,
gonna say
I
they
know.
have cut gloves. You can get the metallic gloves that are cut proof.
But I don't
they
want
use
the-
kitchens.
I use a steel ruler, so I don't want it slipping. But I'm gonna trust myself to cut a straight line. It's not that hard. Just follow the ink.
Okay.
Anyway, so we were talking about. Let's see. I'm watching the war on TV. I'm sorry. Last week we were talking about different belts. Something I've been wanting to talk about, and we may have talked about it before on the show, but some people like and some people don't like belt tips on their belts. And I want to go around the horn and see what you guys think about that. What's your opinion on belt tips? Richard, start with you.
Me, depending on the belt and if it did have a tip on it.
Yeah.
Like your dome glows never had tips on them. Your I want to say your AEWs, they never had tips on them.
No.
True.
Certain belts, don't require a tip on it. I mean, believe it or not, some people like tips on their belts.
Yeah.
Me, It depends on what belt it is and if it did have a tip on it originally.
Right.
You know,
That's
and
my
I
take
only,
on it. If the original belt had a tip, I want a tip on the replica.
but I would only accept a full tip and not a half a tip.
Right. Yeah. I don't know why anybody would want half a tip. It just looks cheap. It
They're
is cheap. It looks
they're
cheap.
so hideous. They're so
Yeah.
ugly. They're terrible.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, Andy, what's your opinion on belt tips?
I
In
totally agree with you guys. It's if the original had it, then I want it. You know, I think the majority of the NWA late '80s, I don't think they did they?
No.
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 Yeah, so that's
Don't-
I don't want them on there. While we're talking about, I think the most gorgeous tip is on my New Japan version 4.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, that is gorgeous. I mean,
Doesn't it have the lion head on it?
I believe so. It's
can't
in
remember
my
if it's got
case
that
where
or-
I get it, but yeah, it's got real beautiful stones on it and everything. But yeah, those half tips are just. Ugh.
Yeah, I re-leathered one time that had a half tip on. I looked at it, thought, why even bother?
Yeah, what were they thinking?
It was like an afterthought. Oh, I got a half tip laying around here. I'll just slap it on the belt.
Yeah.
What about you, Jim?
I'm with you guys. I'm gonna, make this a quad out of the trifecta here. Yeah, if it originally had it on the belt, I definitely want it.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm with you guys. The half tips are horrendous. As a matter of fact, this Mountain State belt that I got here, I bought this off of Rob Bissell.
Oh, I forgot to show you off your belt there.
Oh, wow.
First time I saw that, Steve Smith got one of the originals of that, I think.
Yeah,
years
and
back.
this is just a 2 millimeter. I got a really good deal,
It's
but
a sweet belt.
to my horror,
Oh
Half
no,
tip.
half
Half tip.
tip.
And what's bad about that
Oh.
one is you can see the leather around it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's the really bad thing is if you see it's already got screw holes in it,
Oh,
so I can't
boy.
really take it off, although I want to.
Oh.
Get a little Bondo and put it in there.
Yeah, I, honestly though, that's one of those belts that I'd never seen until I actually joined belt groups, and being a native West Virginian, the NWA Mountain State Heavyweight Championship existed in the I want to say early 2000s. Adam Pierce came to the Mountain State. NWA Mountain State territory and defended 10 pounds of gold a couple of times. I don't know if this belt was in use at that time or not. I'm really not familiar with the NWA Mountain State because evidently at that point in time it was more of a northern promotion for our state anyway. And I live in Charleston. I live in the southern half of the state. But it was just one of those things. Of course, being from West Virginia, you see a belt that's got your state right there on it. It's kind of one of the, you want to have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If there was an Oklahoma State championship or an Ohio State championship or Louisiana or where are you from? There, Warden.
I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, well, a New York State championship. That would be.
You know what belt I really want? I actually want that Tommy Dreamer hardcore title.
Oh yeah, that's a really cool version of that.
The license plate?
Yes.
Yeah, I want
yeah.
that one. That was actually a belt I wanted to get made after my promo character.
There you go.
See, that's pretty cool, man. But yeah, I saw this one. Rob Bissell had it. He posted it was a while back. He posted it, and I was like, "Oh man, if you ever want to get rid of that, let me know." And here a few weeks back, actually, I've had it for a couple of weeks now. I just didn't actually have it in my hand. At one point in time, I was using my grandmother's house as a mailing address.
I was just gonna say that. I think you said that on the other show.
Yeah, and so whenever he got my information from PayPal, I forgot to change my mailing address to my current address because I've lived here for, I guess 5 years going on now. So it's been that long. You know what I mean? I just
Wow.
completely forgot about changing it, you know. And it got shipped to my 90-year-old grandmother's house. So here's this championship belt that's being shipped to my grandmother's house, and she gets it, and she's like, "Well, what's in it?" And I'm like, "Well, go ahead and open it, Grandma. It's cool, you know." And she opens it up, and she's like, "Oh, wow." She's like, "Did you win that?" And I was like, "No."
That's what you tell your wife is you want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
won so
Yeah, you
many. I
definitely
won
tell the
so many.
girlfriend or the wife, especially, you know, if they say you spend too much money on such items. So yeah, I won that in a contest. It only cost me $5 to enter, and I only
Wow.
paid for one spot. And I hit the
Yeah.
lottery, and
One's all it takes.
it
I
hit,
tell
hit
I
lightning
tell
in
my
the
wife
bottle,
the
and
truth.
They drew number 22. Woo! I'm not a
Lane,
very good liar. I'm not.
Lane, it's your turn. What do you think about belt tips?
If the original had it, it didn't have it, don't do it.
Mhm.
If they did,
We have a
Put it.
consensus. We have
Yep.
a
I
consensus.
mean, it just doesn't. I can't see the Dome Globe having a tip. Of course, they never did. But I can't imagine it having it on there. It just doesn't.
Well, my NWA US has a belt tip, and I'm almost 190% sure, and another 67% sure that it didn't have one.
Yeah.
And
Did
I
the-
I believe you're right, Jim.
Tell you,
Did
it's
the blue NWA tag belts have them?
I don't think it did.
I thought they did.
you know
Did they?
what?
I thought
Now
so,
that you
too.
mention it, Lane, I think they did.
Yeah, I think
Road
they
know.
Warriors tag.
Well,
Blue-
let me look on the mine.
I
Does not.
think I just got this thought that I think they did. I don't think the ones that Manny Fernandez and Rick Rude had. But
Now
I think
those
the
were
blue-
cast. Those are
Yeah,
25th
those were cast.
anniversary.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the blue, I think did. But I'm not.
I don't know if the versions of the Road Warriors and the original ones the Road Warriors had were. I don't know if the blue ones did or not. I'm
I
thinking
don't
the
think
black
Tully
ones
and Art
did.
had a tip either. I don't think.
I thought I saw a belt tip. I could be wrong, but mine has
How
it.
about-
But
I thought Rock and Roll did, but I'm not sure.
I've got an NWA TV that has a tip on it. I know that didn't have it. The original didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
I'll
gonna
tell you a
re-leather
belt
it
that
without the tip.
that looks good with a tip on it, and I don't think it came with a tip on it. Was I seen somebody do the CM Punk version of a spinner,
Oh yeah.
and they silvered out the edges, and they had a tip on the end of it that was a silver tip.
Oh yeah.
That's. I see. I don't. I'll be honest. Once the Undisputed was taken off the air, I kind of tuned out of what the WWEF belts looked like because pretty much from that point on they were just horrid.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of the spinner. I know a lot of people.
I hated it.
Yeah, a lot of people who grow up with these, who are growing up with the scratch logo and the network logo and the spinners and all that stuff. That's all they've known as championships. So of course they're going to have a lot of love for it because that was what the championship was when they were growing up.
Yeah.
Me, those are all network looking belts. I prefer the world title to have like a tiny little logo at the top.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then the world. I don't know. I'm just.
A globe
I'll
and
tell
an
you-
eagle. A globe and an eagle. I always.
I'll
liked.
tell you what made me fall out of love with the WWE belts. When I bought that 10 pounds of gold off of Mount Magard, he got me coming over to the dark side now.
Well, to me, a world title should look regal. You know, it should
Yes.
look
Should definitely.
prestigious. And
Yeah, I
a
was
great
just
big
gonna say
W
that.
does not look prestigious.
Well, those
No.
belts look like a class ring. If you do you guys have your high school class ring?
My
Sure do.
daughter told me
No.
the same thing today. She came in here, saw these. She said, "Those look like class rings."
That's exactly what they're. I mean,
Yeah.
I've said that since day one. Although I prefer the network logo over the spinner.
There's our sponsor. Hello, Unique.
Hello.
Oh,
We'll be talking later.
but that being said, they look like high school class rings. They're not impressive to me, and they only serve to get those letters over. I prefer the world title to me to look like a world title. Not with not a logo, not a brand. I mean, don't get me wrong, everything is branded.
I'll tell you what I want to see: a textured big gold.
Uh,
That's what I want to see.
I
Bring
thought they
it
were already
back to
textured.
prestigious.
I was gonna say I thought it was already textured
What
too.
I forgot what they call it. It's
Nugget.
it's a version of the big gold that they had a concept about it that they were going to bring out, and it phased out for some
okay.
reason.
Are you talking about the NWA concept?
No, WWE one.
Oh,
But
Oh,
it's
Okay.
it's gonna be called a textured big gold. That's what I heard.
when I hear textured, I think of that Intercontinental that Cody Rhodes had.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was that nugget texture.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
We haven't really discussed that. That's something we haven't even
Cody?
yet. Cody.
we'll get there. We'll get there. I want to do this because James is here. I want to do this. James has it, and if you wouldn't mind panning your camera up there to your toy Dome Globe. It's on your top shelf.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. I want one of those, but you know, I found them. I did a search on eBay. I couldn't find one until today. I got an email, and I found one, but it's $225. But this is the box that they put on the eBay thing. This is one of 3 I found. They're over $200.
Wow.
Dude,
Does yours have
yeah.
figures?
yes.
Okay, this
Yes.
one has figures.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett and AJ Styles.
Okay, this one I can't.
Yeah,
tell.
that's Jeff Jarrett. That's the same
Okay.
one I have.
Same one you got. $225 for that one.
It's unopened. That's honestly do they have a best offer?
I don't know. Let me go back to maybe I'll look.
And that's why the wife doesn't frown upon me when I pick up 2 figures at a time.
Exactly.
Because she knows they'll be worth money.
Oh wait, I found one for $149.99 or best offer, free shipping.
Oh,
I'm a little.
That's
leery of
even
that.
better.
I bet you if you lowball them at 120, they'll do it. If they've
Here's
got
one. Here's one for 115
There you go.
there you
But-
go, man. Jump
plus
on
14
'em.
bucks shipping.
Yeah, jump on it though, because they're hard. Once people buy them up, and you'll see them go up again. Mine was opened, unfortunately, when I got it, and the stickers were stuck to the belt. I'm not mad though.
Yeah.
I'm honestly, I'm not mad about it because I probably, and this is just me, because I don't plan on ever getting rid of it. I probably would have opened it up and put the stickers on it anyway.
I'm a little leery of these because I don't know who these people are. But 115, I can't find the 225 one now.
The one, hey, let me say this: they're all backed by eBay's
Protection.
standards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I that's where I got mine was eBay.
Okay.
And I
Let
think
me
I
see
paid
if I can,
probably 120 plus.
Let me see if I can share my screen here. Let me share my screen here.
Because believe me, I want to get another one, and I'd like to find one that's unopened.
Let's see where we at.
So there's a couple there.
Yeah. Just a second. Let's see if I can find here.
Might get a second one.
Here they are. Okay, can you see that?
Yep.
Oh, I see it now. Okay. That's it. $149.99 free shipping and $115 with 14 bucks shipping. So
I would
That's-
roll with
that's
the
the same.
115.
yeah. Just wish I had the money right now. I'd jump on it. But
You know who does?
who's that?
It might be a hard resist. No,
So I got 2 Dome Globes ordered.
Yeah, you've got 2 real ones coming, and I need to get a Fandu, so
I'm almost there. A couple more leather jobs, and I'm gonna have that sucker on its way. So
Give me a couple months. I'll be on that one.
yeah, and then my classic shields. I'm about 200 or 300 from saving up for that, and I should get it
once
another
you get
6 or
that
8 months.
classic shields, I'm going to tell you now, and I love my Bud Pack. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Bud Pack makes the best Dome Globe as far as cost effectiveness versus price versus um, what your price range, average price, whatever. What I'm trying to say is, if I could spit it out properly, they give you quality for price. Bud Pack does. That being said, I've seen the classic shields, and man, if I could get one of those, don't think that I wouldn't, because I would jump on that in a heartbeat. I just don't have that kind of money right now. And honestly, for me to spend $500 on the Fandu is going to obviously wait till tax time. But it's gonna be a trigger that I have to pull. And I want the new one, of course. I want the one with the UK plates. Just
That's the
because.
one I'm getting. That's what I'm
Yeah.
getting.
Looks really nice.
Well, I'm a stickler for accurate, and
Oh, yeah.
The pre 2021 is what they're calling it or whatever, is not accurate. It's not even close to accurate. If you watch the advertisement, and I'm not saying anything, that they did this on purpose, but if you watch the Fandu commercial on NWA Power, and you see that they advertise the Leather Rebels belt, they show it.
Yeah.
Whenever they first
Yeah, I
start
want the
talking about-
grommets the same as the original.
Well,
Yeah,
you
me
can't
too.
you can't just make a NWA belt called the Aldous belt. You got to have the grommets the right size, and I've
Yep.
never seen anybody other than Leather Rebels make the bigger grommets. So,
Bud Pack,
Look at that.
way bigger.
Oh,
there you go. Yeah,
Yep.
Way. Oh, wow.
you got to come up with the money for that re-leather on that belt right there.
Yeah,
that needs to be laced, man.
I need to get my Bud Pack because one of my snaps came off the back of it. So
Uh-oh. I used to have that issue with when I put snaps on, but I found a trick to alleviate that. So,
well, I like to get my belts out, and every once in a while, and I like to put them on and pose around and walk around the house because I'm a weirdo.
I'm a weirdo too.
you're single. You can do what you want to. You
Yeah,
can
I'm
do it naked
just
if you
being
want to.
honest.
That
And,
makes a big difference.
And
I do the 10-minute pose.
Yeah.
Then she tells me to get out of the room.
Yeah.
but I did it, and instead of being gentle when I went to pull the snaps, I just kind of popped them off, and when I jerked real hard, that one came off.
Oh,
And,
wow.
Yeah, I almost started crying right then and there. I was just like, whoa.
And the male snaps, because you have to take off the backing to replace those. The
Yeah.
female snaps,
Yeah.
not so much.
So
and
I'm
the female
glad-
snaps were the one I had the issues with. But Tandy, I'm gonna use up what I got, but I'm gonna go with a different company for snaps because Tandy changed their snaps, and when you put them on, you've got to work them. They're hard. I mean, they're tight, and it really makes it easy to pull a snap apart. Not the two different parts, but one
the
snap.
actual
that's got two
snap.
pieces.
Yeah.
Uh,
I took WD-40 when I first get any of my belts, and I'll take a Q-tip and I'll spray WD-40 on the Q-tip, and I'll go through every snap and kind of oil my snaps up just a little bit, just to keep that from happening. You know what I mean?
I have to
And
keep that in
I
mind.
know that sounds kind of a little bit OCD or whatever, but I've heard that it keeps them from pulling apart. Like
cool.
I said, that one was a self-inflicted wound. I just when I just ripped it off, and it was just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Had I been a little bit more gentle with it, I don't think that would have happened.
If Unique, are you still watching? Because I'm going to put this picture up here just for you. This is comment if you're still watching, but this is the that's the one I have for sale. That's the one I have for sale. But this is the Unique belt. And when I say that's the one I have for sale, the tooling is different from the one the giveaway belt. Beautiful work. He's made some alterations to the artwork on this belt, so this is some of his earlier work. But he's made some amendments there, alterations. But Unique Spirit, this is your work right here. So thank you for that.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
So let's talk about Cody Rhodes. I don't know if Jim's still here or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody figure out where he's turned up at? I mean, it's like, where's Waldo?
I have a feeling he's not leaving AEW.
I think it's a work too. I just don't.
That's the.
It
that's the
smells like a
$60,000
major
question.
work. It smells like a
Yeah.
major work.
Well, when Tony
I just-
Khan said that he let him go because he couldn't wrestle, I mean, like, hello.
Yeah.
Come on,
I just hope he doesn't come back with black hair.
Yeah. Well, wasn't that his original color though?
I
Dark.
think it was.
dark
I
brown
think kind
hair.
of dark brown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dark brown.
Mhm. As long as he don't come back with the star on his face.
Or the mustache.
Yeah.
Well, there
Or the
was a
tattoo.
video that was released. I just seen it. Matter of fact, today, it says H wants to know if this still fits, and he picks up the suitcase, and there's the Stardust gimmick.
Oh,
And
wow.
he's like, not again, and he put it back.
Please, not again.
I'm
Yeah,
hearing.
Let me say this, guys. This is coming from what I've learned in the short time that I've been in the business. Money talks.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
it does. Yeah.
Money talks, and these guys at the end of the day are all about making money. And
Yeah.
I like
gonna
that,
tell you.
Cody. I thought that was a great gimmick. I thought, especially whenever he was doing the whole standing in the mirror, and then when they broke his nose or whatever, and he had to wear the mask.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I liked that because it kind of gave him almost a psychopathic, psychopath type feel that he was.
Yeah,
so
I like
bent
that. I did
over
like
his-
that.
over his looks. I think that unfortunately Cody found out that in AEW they're starting to find out that it's getting a little bit bloated on that roster, and money talks. And
Very much so.
you got these big names coming in, and I'm not trying to dog Cody out. I love Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes is one of the best things that that's happened with pro wrestling was his story of leaving WWE and going to Ring of Honor and New Japan and all these places. But whenever you get somewhere, and at the beginning, he's kind of one of the top dogs. He was one of the big names outside of Jericho. Cody Rhodes was the next biggest name as far as the singles went. I'm not putting Omega or any of these other guys down, but Rhodes is a name. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's not just something that that name that's a name. And now that AEW, what they're 3 years getting ready to go into their fourth year now, I think. And they're finding out, because now they've got the Danielson and they've got Punk, and along with Jericho and some of these other names, Cody and I think this is something that Cody was smart about. Cody knows that a lot of these guys don't have a life after wrestling, and I think Cody, by getting into some of these other shows that he was doing, was preparing for a life past it. And I think that he thought that because he was on some of these other shows, and that's one thing that's attractive for WWE, may not be attractive for other wrestling companies, especially if one of your names is not on your show and he's doing another TV show. I think that factored into it, and I think that at the end of the day, money talks. Vince offered more. I think AEW's roster is bloated to begin with. I think that it's a little bit money wise. I think that Tony Khan's dad is finally starting to say, "Hey, man, you need to start bringing money in instead of spending money." And he just saw that at the end of the day, they couldn't come to an agreement. And
He's
Vince
pulling
was
back
like,
on the
well-
reins. He's pulling back on the reins.
Well, that too. But if I'm running a company, and at the end of the day, I'm the one that's signing the paychecks, believe me, I'm going to be the one that makes the decisions.
I'm hearing he's going to show up at the Garden and take on Brock Lesnar.
That's what I've been hearing too.
Well, supposedly,
So what
from
is
what
that
I've been
so
hearing,
he
his
gets squashed by
tattoos
Lesnar?
contract
He's
isn't
not
up yet. He may have to leave the tattoo behind.
Yeah, well, WWE would probably pay him the money to get that thing taken off. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? They were like,
Yeah.
"Look, here's another $100,000 on the salary. Just go take that off your neck."
They could probably just alter it to make it look like a spitter belt.
Well, honestly, I don't want him to come back as Stardust. If he
No,
comes back,
no.
I think he's going to come back on his terms. He might come back as Dashing Cody Rhodes. You never know.
Well, and this is something, but and I don't want to sound, I don't want to come off sounding like, well, I'm in the business and I know what I'm talking about, because that's not necessarily the case. But I find that fans, and this is something that really, really bothers me about fans, and I love because it it gives me a job. This is believe me, if it wasn't for fans, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing on the level that I'm able to do it at. And I'm very, very fortunate because of the fans. But fans have this idea in their head that so and so is not being used properly. And I really hate hearing that, because if I'm a promoter, all right, and I'm paying you and you're being on TV, you're being used properly regardless of how I'm using your abilities.
Hey, I'll give you a for instance.
I
didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. No, what I'm saying is let's say you've got a guy like Buddy Murphy, right? This guy is amazing in the ring. And I hear a lot of people say WWE didn't use him right. Well, at the end of the day, he's not going to beat Brock
That's going to
Lesnar.
be a good match.
He's not going to go over Brock Lesnar. I wouldn't let that happen in my promotion.
Well, look at Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil, for instance. Okay, he's not doing a whole lot in the ring right now, but he's doing a lot outside the ring.
Yes, well, but I mean, when I hear people say that such and such wrestler is not being used properly, or this gimmick is such and such, like if Cody's getting paid to be painted up like Stardust, he's being compensated to do a job. If I pay some kid to cut the grass, I don't need him to come in and tell me, about my roof. Just come in and cut the grass, because that's what I'm paying you to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's something that these promoters, that the promoters, and this is what fans don't understand. If you're being used and you're on TV, you're being used properly, because there's 100 guys that will take that spot in a heartbeat.
Just like that.
So, when I hear somebody say, well, he's not being used properly. No, he's being used on TV. He's being used properly, regardless of what his skill set is. If the story requires him to get beaten in 30 seconds by Brock Lesnar, so be it. You're getting paid for it.
Now, I have a scenario. What happens if Ted DiBiase Jr. and Cody both come back?
Oh, then you put them back together, man.
That would be awesome.
Put him with Randy Orton.
That you would have to, man.
The legacy.
Yeah,
there you go.
Legacy back together, man. In a heartbeat. I would really love to see Joe Hennig show up in NWA. I would like to see him. I'd like to see Ted DiBiase Jr. I'd like to see those guys, because if you haven't noticed, a lot of these guys that get released by WWE are going back out and they're reinventing. Look at what Matt Cardona has done. He's won world championships, and and honestly, though, you know what he's trying to do? He's trying to go back. Nick Aldis said it best. He was like, man, he's trying to write a love letter to his ex in Stanford.
Yeah, I can see that.
They all come back home.
Yeah. Exactly, because money is good there. And, why do you think Cody went back? It wasn't because that he may have hated Stardust and everything else, but at the end of the day, they're paying him to be there, and they're paying him well.
Supposedly he's going to get double what he was getting in the AEW.
Just like Bret Hart. Bret Hart.
$6 million a year, I believe.
Yeah.
Bret came back.
And believe me, Vince sees what goes on outside of the company.
Yep.
Finally, The Rock has come back.
Yeah, well, everybody comes home, man, and I'm not sitting here saying that WWE because I don't know the business end of it like that high up. There's, that would be BS if I claimed that, and you guys would see through that. But I can say, being in the business, I worked for various different promoters, and certain promoters pay better than others. Mm-hmm. So I have a tendency to kind of favor the promoters who pay me more. I mean, it's just, that's business. I want to make, if I can make, last weekend, I worked for a promotion and I broke it down and I got paid basically $1 a minute. That's pretty awesome when you think about, how much time that you put in the ring. Other promotions, not so much. And and that just and I'm not knocking those promotions. Of course, a lot of it depends on how many people sitting in the seats and everything else. You can't sit there and say, well, I get X amount every time I perform. Well, if there's nobody coming in the door, they can't pay you, and I get that. But
Exactly.
I do have a tendency to lean more to the guys who are going to pay me more, who I can expect more of a paycheck from, and that's all Cody did. You know what I mean? It's business. It's like I work for ACW. I work for BGW. I work for ICS, HCW. These are just the ones right off the top of my head. And all these companies pay me pretty decently. You know what I mean? And there are other companies who want me to come to work for them. And when I've sat down and told them what my rate is, but it's negotiable, they don't obviously decline to pay what I want, which is that's their business too. That's what Tony Khan said. He said, "No, I can't afford to pay you that much." Well, okay, then no big deal. I'll go over here where this cat is going to pay me, and that's what Cody did. It's no different on my little local scale. Or regional scale, I should say. I won't say local because I'm a little bit bigger than. I won't say I'm bigger, but I work a little bigger, a wider range than just local. But excuse me. But at the end of the day, man, you just got to go where the money is, and he's got to think about his children. And honestly, long term, if I'm going to be that guy to work for a company, I'm going to work for the company that's been around for the last 50 to 100 years than the company that's only 4. And we're not guaranteed that company, like WWE, is self-sufficient. They're going to be making money
no matter what.
All
No,
of them.
regardless.
You know what I mean? That's how big that they're Disney. That's how that's the only way.
$1 billion a year. I mean, think
Yeah,
about it.
that's insane.
That's insane. Yes.
And at the end of the day, you go where you're going to be financially cared for.
Where the money is.
And I'm sure Tony Khan has more money than Vince, but his company does not have more money than Vince's company.
Mm-hmm.
Vince's company is its own living, breathing entity. Vince could die tomorrow, and WWE will still continue to function. If Tony Khan on a whim decides, well, that's it, guess what? AEW is gone because there's nobody going to financially that can run it the way Tony Khan has run it so far. And that's not a criticism. That's just the way his business model is. And you go from working from that back to what'd you guys say he was getting a year? What's Cody getting a year now?
He's supposed to be getting $6 million a year.
$1 million man.
Yeah.
I heard Brandy's not coming with him neither.
No, but and I guarantee this too. In the future, Jericho's going to come back for the big bucks.
Oh, definitely.
Moxley Ambrose is going to come back for the big bucks.
Definitely.
I don't blame him one bit.
Danielson will come back.
Oh yeah. It'll happen, guaranteed.
Well, I mean, everybody's going to go back to be inducted. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Definitely. And Cody, I think Cody did what was best for the Rhodes name. Since technically now he owns it, he can go anywhere with it. He went to the biggest stage, and honestly, I couldn't imagine wrestling without a Rhodes in it. Period.
I agree.
My whole life there's been a Rhodes in wrestling, and I think Cody, honestly, he's not his dad as far as talking, but in ring, I think Cody's probably the best of the Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
I know Dustin is going to stay put and retire.
Yeah, well, I think Dustin too has a lot more to give to the business. Even he's like 50 years old, and that dude's in such a phenomenal shape. I think that he can do more at AEW than what they were going to let him do at WWE.
I believe he's in charge of the women's division, and he totally
Yeah.
just loves it. He loves it.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, that may be why the women's division is getting a little bit better on AEW. I haven't tuned in a couple of
Mhm.
weeks,
They've gotten really good, a lot better than they were.
but the
Yeah,
last
they have.
I looked in, it's been the women's division has been better. I'm
Mhm.
just waiting for Thunder Rosa to finally get the belt.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, I
Love
want
Thunder
her to
Rosa.
get it. I'm not
I love
too.
her.
I
She's
mean,
great.
I love
don't
Thunder
get me
Rosa.
wrong. I love Jade. I seen her in person, but she still got a little bit to come. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's
But
still green, and you can see it. I mean,
she's got it. She's improving every time, but she's still got a little while to go. And I think
Mhm.
Thunder Rosa is going to take the TBS title.
Yeah,
I love Thunder Rosa. Just do.
I watched.
I always have.
AF
Yeah.
From the NWA, when I first saw her, I fell in love
Yeah.
with her.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to interrupt here for a second. We're going to top of the hour. We're going to take care of some business. This show is sponsored by Mark Leather Championship Belt Leathering, yours truly, and by Unique Spirit Championship Belt replicas. So, and I want to answer a question. Josh put up a question a while ago. Where it is? What are you going to do to give away? Okay, I'm not sure I quite understand the context of the question, but what it is when if you're not a member of the Facebook group Wide World of Belts, I encourage you to join because we're working toward 1,000 members and beyond. But when we reach 1,000 members, I'm going to hold a giveaway for this belt right here.
Mhm.
I'm not sure how we're going to do it yet, but we're working out the details. But it's this belt right here, the NWA TV by Unique Spirit, on ox blood strap and blue backing. Blue backing. And there's my maker's mark right there. Let me turn it. We can read it. It smells heavy.
Oh, I know it is. Oh,
There you go. Okay.
that is
There it
so beautiful job.
Yep.
Beautiful work.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, dude, that ox blood pops me every time, man.
That's that
Yeah,
Mark's
they did.
blood. Mark's blood.
Mark's blood. Yeah. Cut my finger.
Yeah, there's Mark's blood.
I think it was this belt. No, it wasn't this belt. I cut my thumb on another belt I was working on and cut my finger the other day on another one I was working on. So
That's what I'm
I'm
going to
a-
refer to that color from now on. Mark's blood.
Mark's blood. Yeah. Yeah. This belt's gone through blood, sweat, and tears.
There you go.
Oh, Felix.
Hey, Felix.
Good evening,
to
Felix.
have you back. All right. And I also have another one of these belts for sale. It's completed. So if you want one of these, I think I was asking $325 for it shipped. I can't remember, either $300 or $325. I'll check on that. But hit me up if you're interested. I'd love to give it a home. Right now it's just occupying a cube over here. It's exactly like this one, except the edge tooling is just a little bit different. But it's got the blue backing and everything. But thanks for asking, Josh. But yeah, I encourage you to join the Facebook group, Wide World of Belts. Man, it's heavy. Well, when you're twisted like
Bless
I am,
you.
it's
I
bless
definitely
you.
recommend it, Josh. Join the group if you're not a member of the group already.
yeah. Also, if you're watching us on Facebook and you put your comment up, it shows up as Facebook user. You can do one of two things. You can either click on the StreamYard link and allow it to put your name up on the comments, or you can switch over to the YouTube channel, Wide World of Belts. The show is streaming live on YouTube also. And your comments, you don't have to click anything extra. Just comment on the live chat.
Mm-hmm.
And that is possible because of a partnership with Wide World of Belts and with Brothers in Kayfabe podcast. Right there. They're on Apple Podcasts and a couple other places, but I listened to it on the Apple Podcast.
Okay.
They're out of Oklahoma City, fellow Oklahomans. Good guys. They like to talk wrestling. Love to talk wrestling.
Awesome.
Don't we all?
But yeah, they partnered with the StreamYard subscription so we could expand from Facebook out to YouTube so we get more viewers. So hadn't had very many viewers tonight. Is there something else going on? Is there another podcast going on tonight, or everybody watching the war? I don't know.
I think there's
Yeah.
something going on the news or something. I
That
saw
could
something
be.
earlier.
Everybody's in line to get gas.
I'd like to get Andy's take on the Cody Rhodes
Good deal, Josh.
situation. Cool.
As far as Cody goes, you know, another thing I think needs to be brought up is that he was what they call it a co executive or whatever, and
Yeah.
then Tony said you're not going to do booking, and none of you guys are going to do the booking anymore. I'm doing the book, so he took him from that, reduced his name or however you want to put it. So I think that adds a little bit to it too. But I do think Tony's doing a better job booking than the other guys were. It's
But you know
obvious.
what?
That's
you know
the
what I
sad.
gotta say? He gave them the executive powers, like the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and everything.
Yeah.
And even in this promo thing we do, if you want to be a wrestler, then be a wrestler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Concentrate on that, because then the other guys are going to say, hey, well, you're the executive producer and you're also the champion. That
Mhm.
doesn't look good for the company
Yeah.
neither.
And 9 times out of 10, he always came out in a suit.
Yeah.
You know, and that didn't help his. I don't think that helped either. You know, because he always give off the aura of like, hey, I'm an executive here. You know, I'm a higher up here. I'm not just a wrestler, but I'm a higher up, and that just doesn't float with a lot of people.
Yeah, I think that's what, I mean, I think Omega did it himself. He kind of stepped back out of that role.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I respect him for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully it won't be too much longer before we see him in the ring again, hopefully.
Some other news broke today. Cesaro, his contract's up.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that.
Yeah, he just quietly, they didn't renew it, and he just quietly left. He didn't start raising heck on the internet. He just,
He's kind of a diamond in the rough. I mean, he's
Yep.
very
Yeah.
good, very talented. He just hasn't got pushed much.
yeah.
Yeah, he should have been championship material. I'm sorry.
He's great. He's great in the ring. Always has been.
Yeah.
I think
Maybe
part of
just
the
a-
reason why WWE didn't push him with a championship, and this is just things that I think. Obviously, Vince has no idea how to use someone of his abilities. When I say don't know how to use him, because he really couldn't talk all that well. I think that's one of the things that hurt him a little bit, was the fact that his on camera. He worked better with managers and things like that.
Yeah. He could have
That
really
Unless you
used a
talk a
manager.
lot.
And I think that hurt him in Vince's eyes, because Vince likes guys who can talk. He likes guys who can read the script and get through it. His in-ring ability, geez Louise, oh my
Mhm.
gosh,
He could
that
do it
guy
all.
is something
He could
else.
do it
I've
all.
never seen anybody do an airplane spin without using their arms.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Hey, they hired Drake Maverick back too.
yeah.
All that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a producer, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's on a
Maverick-
trial run.
I like Drake Maverick. I really
I
do.
like him
do
too.
I've always liked him.
You know, when he was cut loose by WWE, he did a video. I think it was on Instagram.
Yeah,
And
good
he was-
video.
Oh.
I saw that. Yeah.
He was so emotional, but he had nothing bad to say about WWE.
Total
Oh,
class. Total class.
Yeah, very very classy. Yes. That
But you know what?
what's that?
Go ahead, Mark.
No, I was just gonna say it gave me total respect for him.
Mm-hmm.
I was starting to like his character when it became comical, but that told me right there that he was just appreciative of the opportunity he had. So
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the heart. You know what I mean? It was all in his heart, you know?
yeah, and he loved to be part of WWE. I mean that
Yeah.
it just took the breath out of him, I guess, to
Mhm.
get cut loose. But
I also heard that Shane is working on something.
now he got fired, right?
I mean, the wrestler Shane McMahon got fired.
I
Okay.
knew that was a work. I knew it was a
Yeah.
work.
But I think he's working on something. I also heard that AKA Braun Strowman and EC3 are working on their own federation.
I saw
They
that
are.
too.
And
Supposedly they're real close to getting a TV contract too.
you remember, I
Mhm.
guess we had a couple of months ago, Jake Logan, the wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to be part of that, and I'm trying to get him on here to talk about it.
Oh, that'd be
Oh,
great.
that's going to be
But
awesome.
I guess he's
wow.
making the rounds. But yeah,
Yeah, that'd be great.
I want to get him on here.
Have Nate contact
And
him.
I also heard
Yeah.
that Bray Wyatt actually is filming his own horror movie with the guy who created The Mask.
Really?
Mm.
Who knows where
So
he's going to
I
find
think his movie, his horror movie is going to come out. And like I said, the guy who created, he's a famous FX guy. I believe his name is James something.
Well, what they'll do
I'm
is they'll
bad
build
with
this guy
names.
up to be the main character. They'll build him up to be really really scary. Then at the end he gets squashed.
But I have a feeling something big's gonna happen with them too.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Bray Wyatt's talented.
Oh, he is.
He just got
really
It's in his
misused.
blood. It's in his blood.
Yeah, I
He
didn't
was
much
the one
like the
that
Fiend
created the
character.
Fiend.
Yeah,
He created the Fiend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He
I
did.
I didn't care for the Fiend character because
I didn't
you know,
either. I just don't.
I like a little realism in my wrestling. I
Yeah.
just do. I'm just old school that way.
Well,
I
I'm
am
not a
too.
big fan of immolation to begin with. When you set somebody on fire, that usually means they die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would think.
You.
That's well. I mean, I'm I liked Bray Wyatt. I liked
too.
Yeah.
I
I
liked
did too.
Followed the Buzzards. I liked.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That was.
I did like the fact that with the Fiend character and the Mr. Rogers type Bray Wyatt, I like the duality, like it was two different people.
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Because if you ever seen the movie Split, it's
Yep.
got James McAvoy in it. He does this incredible job of doing all these different characters on just literally a flash of a light. And I like the fact that Bray Wyatt kind of took that and instead of using multiple characters, created this one big monster of a character with it. But I didn't like the fact that they turned him into Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers. I like a monster to be a monster, but I don't want them to be supernatural. The
What I
Undertaker.
thought was cool.
The Undertaker
Go ahead,
was
finish.
enough for me. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought what was cool is this all came about in the performance center. When they're at the performance center, they say, "Show us what you got." And I seen like behind the scenes stuff. I mean, you got Enzo and Cass when they first started in the beginning, and they added Carmella to the mix, and you can see their characters like evolved and went up, and they just let them run with it. And Dusty worked with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing with Bray Wyatt is, or Wyndham,
Yeah.
he brought that natural Bayou kind of flavor to the ring,
Mhm.
and the character evolved from it.
Yeah.
You added the other two guys, Braun Strowman and Rowan, or what's his name? Oh my God,
Eric
I'm
Rowan.
bad with names.
Eric Rowan, yeah.
Eric Rowan, and then what's his name?
Oh, the one that died.
Brody Lee or
Yeah.
Really,
Brody Lee.
Harper.
Yeah, Brody.
Harper.
You added Brody to the mix. Oh man,
I'll be
that
working
was like
Right.
gold right there.
Eric
it
Rowan.
was.
that's not my TV, by the way. Somebody's playing their TV in the background.
Uh,
Mine's muted.
Yeah, I'll be working this weekend. Eric Rowan, Shane Douglas will be there. Tommy Wildfire Rich.
Luke Harper. That's who it was. Luke Harper.
Luke Harper.
Yes, Josh.
Thank you.
Luke Harper. Thank you.
Heath Slater. He'll be there.
I got kids.
Yeah.
Trying to
So do I.
as far as
Kids.
All-Star Wrestling's Winterfest, I think is what it's called, and it'll be a great show. I'm excited. I'm really excited to be working at this. I get to work with a couple of.
I got a question for the panel. The panel all together.
Ah.
Mark knows who I'm looking forward for the Hall of Fame this year. Who are you guys looking for the Hall of Fame this year? Because I know Ring of Honor also started their Hall of Fame. So between the WWE and the Ring of Honor or any other organizations.
Oh well, I mean honestly, I'm the Undertaker, of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
Isn't he could be the
Taker,
only
oh,
one for
definitely.
WWE?
I don't think he should be inducted.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he should be because even though he, it deserves that kind of respect and else doesn't. There was a lot of people that helped make the Undertaker what he is,
Mm-hmm.
and there's people
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I think that they deserve, just because he's going in, he shouldn't be alone. You know what I mean?
There's a couple of people I can think about for that.
There's a lot of other ones, but I don't think he should be the solo. As much as I love the Undertaker and no, I don't think he should. He's he is the Phenom, but he didn't become the Phenom without other people helping him, develop that and doing the job to get him to that status. So by that token alone, he should be inducted with other people.
I'm just wondering who's going to induct him.
Obviously, since Paul Bearer is gone, I think it should be Glenn Jacobs Kane. I think
Kane,
or Mick Foley.
I have a feeling
DiBiase?
it's either going to be it's either going to be his wife, Paul Heyman, Teddy Long, or Glenn Jacobs, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Why
are my
not
guesses.
Brother Love?
Bruce Pritchard,
I was going to say it might be
Very well could be.
where Bruce comes out and inducts him himself, because originally he was paired up with Brother Love.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
Or Vince McMahon himself.
Well, Ted DiBiase brought him on board too, but
yeah.
Survivor
he didn't
Series.
work with him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And DiBiase said himself that he just happened to be the guy to send him out with that night. It wasn't really his plan to introduce him, but he did.
And I got the perfect people to put in with the Undertaker, and they've been overlooked for years, and I still don't understand it. The Midnight Express.
I'm
Thank
there
you.
with you.
Why aren't they in the Hall of Fame? It makes no sense at all.
Yep.
No.
Not at all.
I think a lot of it just has to do with the fact that the people
Cornette.
that are in charge of WWE don't look past that logo for anything, unless they're told otherwise. You've got these people who are in charge of WWE now who don't even know who Sergeant Slaughter is, and I'm saying this. But
Yes, that's true.
It's sad, isn't it?
It's really sad, and and that's 30 years ago, and that's WWE. People who work for that company, Sergeant Slaughter was their champion, and these people don't know who he is.
Yeah.
So
You also have to retire first, don't you?
well, true. I think. Well,
Yeah.
no. They were going to actively put Jeff Hardy in there as kind of a I'm sorry for firing you because we thought you were doing drugs.
Jeff's heading to AEW. That's what I heard.
Yeah. He said in an
Yeah,
interview.
he
that's
said
where
that himself.
headed. Yeah, he said it himself. Yeah.
They're going to reunite one last time.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to. I think the Hardys are going to do the same thing that the Rock and Roll Express did, and do a farewell tour. And I'm not saying they're going to end their in-ring career, but I think we're going to see the Hardy Boys not as a tag team so much anymore. Because Matt's already trying to transition out. He's doing more of the manager stuff.
And he's doing great, I think.
But Jeff, and this is the thing too, and this is what a lot of people were like, well, Jeff wasn't the same Jeff. Man, you land on your back for the last 20 years doing these high jumps and everything else, and still be expected to perform at that level like he did in the late 90s and early 2000s is insane.
That bump he took off the cage in TNA.
And look what I heard. Devon Dudley had surgery recently.
Yeah.
Devon's done.
Yeah, he's done. Yeah, he could be a manager, couldn't he?
Oh yeah.
Could he still be a
Well,
manager?
his
definitely.
twin sons are wrestling.
Oh yeah.
I saw that. And he basically was like, look, man, he said, he's like, I want to be able to walk when I'm 60. Bumping around in the ring. Every time you take a bump, it's equal to like a car crash of 30 miles an hour.
How's Ric Flair still walking?
I know, right?
Some of these
Thank
guys,
you.
man, they're machines. I don't know. But then again, too, you see over time, a lot of them do break down. Look at not Paul Elric, but Paul Orndorff before he passed away, and how his body,
Terry Funk.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good night.
He was harder on his body than most other wrestlers. I mean,
Well, the crazy thing about Terry is he got harder as he got older.
yeah.
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 You know, that's when you're supposed to lighten up. No, Terry was he was a real life shooter who became a pro wrestler who went hardcore as he got older. Instead of
I
doing
read,
death matches.
I read somewhere it said that when Terry was in ECW that he adapted to their style, thinking, "My gosh, he created that style before any they were even born."
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was hardcore for hardcore was cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Definitely.
the man's the king of hardcore.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see the death match between him and Mick Foley in Japan, Cactus Jack?
I heard
I
about
didn't
it.
see that one.
All right,
Yeah.
at the end of it, the ring is so bloody they're slipping all over the place. They're slipping it.
Oh.
Oh wow.
What about the match they
Oh.
had in ECW with the steel chairs?
Oh yeah, when
Oh,
he was
yeah.
asking for a chair.
Oh,
What's
Ben.
up,
Ben.
Big Ben?
What's up,
Oh, Ben.
buddy? Ben.
And the whole
Yeah, the whole arena gives him the chair.
That was
I want
phenomenal.
to show off something here. I did a thing. Richard's seen this, but there's a guy by the name of Miggs Laxon. I think it's how you pronounce his name. But he has a company called MC Digital Arts. He'll make a picture. You send him a picture, and he'll like cartoon it or dress it up, whatever. So I took this picture. I flashed it up for a second by accident a while ago. I took this picture a couple years ago.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That
Anyway,
belt, man.
yeah. And everybody says that belt looks huge. It looks big in that picture, but it's not really that big. I can't explain it. But anyway, I sent this picture to him, and this is what he did with it.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
I like it.
Isn't that cool?
Great. Nice work.
Yeah. But look how big that belt looks. It's now keep in mind I'm only 3'9", but
3'9".
yeah, it does look a little big on me.
All right, Hornswoggle.
Yeah, Hornswoggle. Yeah, Hornswoggle gave me a shout out one time in the promo groups.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh,
I love
wow.
that picture. But yeah, MC Digital Arts. Apparently they're out of the country because I had to pay an exchange rate. I can't remember what country they're in, but anyway, it was it was cool. Yeah, I'm 3'9". No, I showed that picture off one of the belt groups, and one guy said something about that belt looks huge. I said, well, I'm only 3'9", so I thought it'd get more traction than that, but it didn't.
I had a friend of mine. I sent it to Mark a couple of weeks ago around
Philippines.
Valentine's
He's from the
Day.
Philippines. Yeah.
I had a friend of mine took my face and imposed it on Bo Dallas's face. I'm like, gee, thank you.
But no, me and Richard were in a promo group one time, and one of our friends got Hornswoggle to do a shout out for that promo group, and he happened to mention me. Now, it wasn't very flattering what he said about me, but he did
The
mention me.
marvelous one. The
Well, that was
marvelous
my
one.
name in the promo group was the marvelous one.
Was
And he
this
said I wasn't so marvelous.
Was this Champions Universe?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
It was called Beyond the Belts.
Okay.
Beyond the Belts.
It's probably still on YouTube. If you guys look it up, you can find it.
Yeah. It
Later.
may be repackaged as top ranked promos, which is not currently operating right now. So
Now, the Champions Universe. That's the first place I saw you, Martin. You and Babel.
Champions Universe, yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
that was the Hornswoggle thing. I was getting ready to do a promo against David Babel, and Hornswoggle called me out, said I wasn't so marvelous, and said Babel was pretty cool. And Babel actually won that match. I got jobbed in that match. I did. I got jobbed. But anyway, it was
I'm
fun.
actually a judge for HWB promos, so
I got a big
I'm-
match coming up this weekend.
Yeah, I've got to go in and review. Matter of fact, Jim sent me a email. He's like, "You gonna be able to judge us Saturday?" And I was like, "Ooh, Saturday's really bad. I can do it. Try to do it Sunday morning, like as early as I can, because I've got training actually, and this is going to be a busy weekend for me." And I even told him whenever he first asked me to be a judge, I said, "Man, I don't know if I can or not," and I turned him down because I didn't think I would have the time. And then he was like, "Oh, you'll be able to do it." Da 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 da. And I was like, "Okay, sure." And then this weekend, here comes the first one I'm supposed to judge, and I'm like, "Man, I've got wrestling Friday, Saturday, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to have time to sit
Yeah, I
down."
got to work on my promo this weekend. Tomorrow, actually. So I'm kind of a storyteller when I do my character.
Well, I hope that, and because I've never done this, before, so I don't know what to expect. I'm going to judge, and this is just, this is how I'm going to judge. I'm going to judge on the believability. At the end of the day, if I believe you, and that's the biggest thing about any promo, doesn't matter the time, the place, what you name, and everything else. You want all that to be in there. But at the end of the day, even though wrestling may be fake, you want the audience to believe in you. And if you've got a believable enough promo, you know what I mean? That's what gets them in there.
I'm all about fun, man. If you're having fun doing it, that's what I believe in. And it's not all about winning, but it's just about going out there and give it the best you can.
Oh no!
And like you said,
I'm just going to judge it like I would judge a real promo because I don't know what I'm doing, so I have to go by the only reference that I do know.
I wouldn't want it any other way.
So I'm just saying I've never done this before, and that's how I'm going to work. You know what I mean? So if
it's hard to judge promos. It really is. Richard and I have done that. It's tough.
It's not easy. Trust me.
No.
It's not easy. Even doing promos is not easy. I try to
put not easy at all.
No.
I try to put myself in a different headspace. Like I said earlier in the show, my son asked me. I was actually talking to Mark earlier, and I had shot a promo for the group I'm in, and my son goes, "How do you do that? You come out of the room and you're like Dad again, but you were just a different person."
Yeah.
He says, "How do you do that, Dad?"
Bipolar.
It's like a snap of the fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some guys in the promo game that can't do that.
No.
We know of a guy or heard of a guy that wears a mask as promos because he doesn't want anybody knowing what he looks like, and supposedly he walks around the streets wearing that mask. So,
Oh boy.
Yeah. So when the camera turns off, Richard and I could turn the character off. It's just a character. But some people, they live it. I mean, they live the gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, to each their own. Bob Backlund does it.
Savage.
Yeah.
You got to think though. A lot of those older cats were protecting the business.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that kayfabe.
Yeah, they. If you were, look at Harley Race. Case in point, Harley was the world champion. He was supposed to be better than everybody else. So if Harley got into a fight in real life, he could not lose that fight. There was no way, no shape, no how, because then it would expose that not only did Harley get beat up by somebody who wasn't trained as a professional wrestler, but it also exposes the business as this dude is being fake. And so Harley, and this is the God's honest truth, was one of the toughest dudes that you never wanted to come, you never wanted to like cross his path.
No way in hell. I mean,
look at Undertaker. He never wanted to break character till the Make a Wish thing. That was the only time I seen Undertaker break character.
He stayed in character for years, 100%.
Yep.
And these older guys did just simply because, number one, they had to portray that gimmick because they had this to keep it real. And number two, they got into such a practice of it. I mean, look at Ric Flair. Richard, I talk to Shane Douglas all the time, right? And Shane and I were talking. We were on one of our road trips, and we were talking about just gimmicks and how people sometimes get lost in the gimmick. And he said, case in point, he said Ric Flair. Ric Flair is now the person. Richard Fliehr, he said that guy's gone, man.
Yeah.
Because Ric Flair lives the gimmick. He is Ric Flair.
100%.
Who's got
time,
that?
woo, all that.
Who's got that '80s heat right now? MJF.
Yeah, I was gonna say MJF.
yeah.
I didn't see
Oh,
the
he
promo
does.
last
I
night.
Well, that
did.
promo
he
he
did.
did was
It's gone.
amazing.
Everybody loves MJF now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
See
that
there?
promo was.
I just said right there.
Isn't
Yeah.
he like the modern day Stone Cold?
Yeah,
He,
he's
he's going to be popular as a heel.
the
So,
man.
No,
that
man,
promo
he
was
came
amazing.
very babyface. I mean, it was a very babyface promo. It was
Yeah, it
almost.
was a babyface promo, but I think what he did is he's playing mind games with Punk.
Yeah, I think
Well, that's what
he's
he's
going to
doing.
sucker everybody. He's going to
But
turn
for a
around and
few
go,
seconds
"Sucker!"
there, I was wondering if we were going to have a double switch, a Bret Hart Stone Cold switch. I was
Yeah.
wondering.
That would be too soon. I think it
Yeah.
would be
Yep.
too soon for
He
Punk.
did-
But
did
we're
cross
talking
the
about
line, though,
Tony
you know?
Khan, and I mean he had to unify the TNT title after one whole week. So he's kind of that guy. He will put on a quick.
But you got to remember he used that because it was real.
Mhm.
He used that because it was a real tweet that he sent out when Punk left. It was a real, honest to God tweet that he sent out.
Did he
And
break
he's playing
character?
on
Because I seen what Nathan Hardister said. Did he break character? Or
They're
once again,
saying that he did.
Here's the thing about a promo, and you guys know this because you guys have done this. I can't even. I don't cut that great of a promo.
I agree, Ben. I agree. I see him being the champ down the road.
Easily.
Well,
But
his
yeah, I
contract
seen the
doesn't
promo that
take
he
here in
cut
about a year.
yesterday, and I gotta tell you, there was a lot of truth in that because you can't get that emotional out of nowhere. So he had to pull that out of somewhere.
Yeah, and he's only
See, I
25
think.
years
Well, I
old.
think okay, and this is something that I was taught. All great promos have a little bit of truth sprinkled in through all the other stuff. You
Oh,
give
yeah.
people just enough truth to where
yeah.
they'll buy everything else.
Because
Yes.
MJF was a huge fan and still is of CM Punk.
Oh,
Punk
yeah.
was his
I mean,
idol. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw him say thank you after the match. I mean,
Yep.
but whenever they do things like that I'm sure, him talking about being mistreated as being a young Jewish kid in school by
Oh, he brought up his ADD
sure
and
that
all
was
that.
real.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 100% real.
Yep.
As far as, the Punk thing, um,
Yep.
maybe. I mean, then again, that could be kayfabe story too. There's enough, and all the best promos would do that.
The perfect ingredients are in there. And
Look
like you
and with
like
all
you
the other stuff, and it makes
like you mentioned though, the match that him and Punk had, you could see when MJF crawled over him and went right over to him like this, and you could see him motion to say thank you for this match.
yeah. And you, I think that whenever, and once again, I'm of the mind that MJF is going to turn out to be just this mega prick heel, because he's doing on the
He
hard
did a good job of it.
He's so good at it.
body, and I think because MJF is just that good.
And he
But I can
sticks
tell
with
you,
kayfabe. He sticks
Yeah.
with kayfabe.
but he will not be a good face. You want to know why?
No, he won't.
Because the best heels were the best faces.
I don't know, man. Look at The Rock. Look
Yeah,
at
look
The Rock.
at yeah.
The Rock was Stone Cold was a complete heel his whole career.
Well, he was also a baby face too.
No, his
Well,
career worked like a heel. No
In the
was like a
beginning,
heel.
yeah.
bad. He baby faces, aren't he worked totally as a heel. He
and the
broke
fans
rules,
loved it.
and the fans loved it. Not everybody can do that. I think
No.
But
He's the only one, I think.
MJF, I think like The Rock, like Stone Cold, I think MJF could. I think he has that ability. He can talk.
well, Hogan
Last night-
got it done too. So
Last night proved it that he gave a babyface promo because at the beginning, if you watch that promo, like you can go on YouTube and watch it. Go in there and watch the promo. The fans are heckling him at the beginning of the promo.
you can see the
By
eyes.
the end of it,
Yeah.
Quiet
those
as
same
can
fans
be.
were cheering him.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's the mark of a good storyteller. That's the mark of once again, like I'm with you guys. I think it's only a matter of time before we get MJF with a belt. I just hope that they don't wait too long to pull the trigger. Because I'll be honest, and I'm just saying this right now, Adam Page is not I don't believe in him. I don't believe in Adam Page as a world champion. I didn't
I
believe
think
in I didn't believe in Kenny
Danielson is
Omega.
going to take it, and then MJF is going to fight Danielson for it, and then he's going to get it.
Hangman's a transition champion for sure.
And I'm not saying that the dude. I think he could have been champion had they pulled the trigger sooner
Mhm.
instead of making him wait another 6 months to do it.
I mean,
and
personally,
this long-term storytelling, sometimes you got to pull the trigger because
I like Cody Rhodes,
care.
but I would have rather have seen MJF as the champion.
I think the thing is you gotta work your way. Like they were trying. I think they worked too hard to get Page to where he is.
Yeah, I agree, Ben.
Yep, exactly.
And I'm not saying that he's not world championship material. I just think the way they got him there kind of makes him a lackluster champion right now. They should have had him beat Omega 6 months ago.
Moxley, I think
6 months before he did.
Moxley's title run, I think, went too long, and I think it should have been perfect place for MJF to get his first title win there.
I like that, Josh.
Yeah.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I think it went too long. At the same time, and I understand what they were trying to do with Omega. I really do, but he is not. His promos suck. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not an Omega fan. I don't think the dude's all that, and they put all the belts on him, and it didn't do jack for their company. It didn't. It did not bring in any more people, and that's just. I think that's just the way they built to it.
Yeah,
Had you had, because I don't understand why they haven't had a feud for the belt. Like Jericho should have gotten a rematch and maybe beaten Moxley to have a second run with the belt, and then give Moxley a second run, just simply because a feud builds up the prestige of a belt.
Yeah.
Giving it from person to person to person to person to person
It
doesn't
just waters it
necessarily
down.
do that.
Like you're passing it around just for the fun of it.
And when you and this is just my 2 cents. Promoters do what they do because it's their promotion. And if I had my own promotion, this is how I would run it. I would have a champion, and if he's a baby face, then I would have a heel come in and screw him over, right? And then it is. I mean, it's nothing. But you have to have a heel come in and screw your baby face over. So the baby face gets screwed over, kind of like Moxley did with Omega, right? And why can't? Because you want your baby face. He was obviously badass enough to beat Jericho and everybody else in his run. Why can't he beat this dude that cheated to beat him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he can't do it. So that kind of not only buries your former champion, because what's he going to do now?
I'd say put the belt up in a tournament.
I think what you got to do is you have to keep it on Page now. You have to. You can't.
Well,
take
they
it
have
off
no
of
choice.
him.
Yeah, they have no choice
You
now.
can't take it off of him now because then it kills Adam Page. But what you can do with Adam Page is elevate Adam Page and have him have a feud. I don't know, with Danielson. Take the belt off of him, put it on Danielson. Have Danielson, supposedly the best wrestler in the world, have to cheat to beat him, right? Holds the tights, whatever, gets a sleazy win, right? Well, Adam Page, and him feud for a while. 5 months later, Page wins it back, right? That builds Adam Page up. Number one, he knocked off the dude that cheated to beat him, the supposed best wrestler in the world, and it solidifies his first run as champion with a second one. Then after that, you can take it off of him and then circle back around eventually later on. AEW hasn't found a right championship formula yet. And I say this, even when Jericho had it, I don't think Jericho had it long enough. Obviously, I think Jericho's run was too short. I think Moxley was too long. And I think Omega was just a bad decision.
Yeah, I agree.
AEW needs to quit signing superstars and start signing storylines.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, just use the people that you've got. They're so bloated with their roster, you can't feature everybody on TV.
How much more do they need? I mean, just stop with the signings and work on the stories. I mean,
you got the two YouTube shows. You got the 2 national TV shows.
Yeah.
I mean, You got to utilize your talent before they get wasted away.
Well, I mean, and I'm not. But what casual viewer, like my dad, who flips channels and will stop on whatever show and look in on it, they are not going to go to YouTube. Not going to happen. They're not going to go to YouTube to watch wrestling
No,
because
No,
they're casual viewers, right? And in order to keep a casual viewer occupied, you got to keep him familiar with what's going on, with the faces that are on there. And if your faces change all the time, or you feature these, multi-minute matches with all these different faces, nobody's going to get used to anybody. And the casual fan, you know what he does? Click. He changes his channel.
Yep.
Click.
But he's not familiar with it.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. It's the most awesome time to be a wrestling fan. In this era, we have so much to choose from. And that's the good thing about wrestling right now.
Yep, I agree.
No matter what you're into, there's always a market for everything.
I agree. I agree to a point. I also think, though, that there's a lot of overexposure too.
Wrestling.
And I think that there's,
Wrestling.
there's always, you can always have too many. And I think that you're going to start seeing some of these ones. I mean, look what happened to ROH. It's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, gone.
Supposedly they went under, but they're coming back.
Well,
I'll believe it when I
I'll
see
wait
it.
and see it. Yeah, I'll wait. No, I'll wait and see about that.
I'll believe it when I see it. Until then, we can sit there, but they changed the whole way that they're booking. So, and they're using their talent. And that's a restructuring thing. It's not going to be the same. I guarantee you it's not going to be the same.
No. They won't be able to bring that magic back again.
I mean, look,
No.
AEW, they signed Jay Lethal, a great wrestler, and haven't done a darn thing with him. I mean, what are they
Buried him.
doing?
Yep.
I mean, they made him go out and job to the TNT champion,
Yeah.
which I hate Sammy Guevara. Oh, I hate Sammy Guevara.
That's oh. I just no. Okay.
The Latin heartthrob.
It's not even the character. It's the whole no selling of everything. He's in a figure 4 leg lock. He no sells it and literally open palm slaps his way out of it. That made me mad. And then I saw him take a tombstone pile driver from the second rope and kick out.
Yeah.
But I'm honestly going to tell you, AEW, the show I went to, the first live show, they hooked me. The second one, I was really hooked into it and heavily invested, and I still am. I'm going to tell you that right now. I watched every WWE show live. Now they go straight to DVR. The only one that I will consider watching live is Monday Night Raw.
Huh. I haven't watched.
How old are
WWE.
you? How old are you? There.
I'll be 47 next month.
Okay, so you're right behind me.
He's right behind me.
Yeah.
No, he's right behind
I mean,
Andy. He's right behind.
Yeah,
me.
come on, Mark. Come
I'm
on.
48. I just turned 48 back in October.
I'm 50.
A lot of these kids, because they've grown up with a lot of these people have grown up with only WWE as a diet to watch wrestling, that they have no idea what good wrestling is. And they think that any product is a good product when it's just different. I will say this. I love the fact that we can choose there's so many to choose from that we can watch. And for me, that's great because I can't watch anything that's on regular TV anymore.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Within the last 2 years, I have to admit, I find myself going back and watching your Mid-South, your AWA,
Oh, definitely.
your NWA, and watching it on rotation, like constantly, because of what they're offering today.
Yeah.
I think I have to give credit with AEW because of they do honor the tradition of the Southern style of wrestling. At the same time, They do a lot of the independent stuff, which I, as an independent, and I'm going to say this, and this is probably going to get me killed. As an independent worker, I can't stand because anything that, and this is just because I'm old, and you're right there behind me, and Mark, you're a little bit older than me.
Just a little bit.
Just a hair. You're just a hair.
tad.
About 3'9".
Yeah, I still wear Nike sneakers.
But in reality, the difference between wrestling then and wrestling now, in real life, if I DDT you on the floor, I guarantee you're not going to get up.
Oh no.
Okay, that's the problem I have with a lot of the major promotions today. I have a problem whenever they get into a cage, and this is really bad about WWE, that nobody bleeds. You know what I mean? I understand that there's, all different kinds of blood diseases and things like that, and a lot of people don't want to bleed, don't have a cage match.
Mm-hmm.
Simple fix. I'm not a fan of these guys who do all these jumps and dives. In reality, if somebody in a real fight tried to jump on me from a height, I would just move.
Move.
I mean,
Be like, what'd you do that for?
I mean, I think that's what's missing nowadays, and I think it for to garner the fans that it had back in the '80s and even in the late '90s and early 2000s, when 20 and 30 million people and 40 million people were watching every Monday night. Bring it back to reality. Quit doing the stupid stuff. Quit doing these stupid dives. And here's the thing. Remember when Mick Foley got tossed off the top of the Hell in a Cell?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That was real.
Everybody remembers that. You know why? Because it only happened once.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Taker didn't want to do it.
Nobody remembers these car crash matches on AEW because it happens in every match. And
Taker didn't want to do that. You know that, right? Taker did not want to throw him off it. He's like, throw me off.
He said, throw me off.
Throw
and he
me
said, what?
off.
And he said, throw me off. He's like, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. It surprised the Undertaker. Whoa. And,
yeah.
And
surprised a lot of people.
Yeah, and he lied to Vince and them and said he had done it once before.
He told Vince they practiced it before.
Yeah, we've already done it. It's great. I've already done this. And he lied to him.
Yep.
But the reason why people remember it because he only did it that one time. And I'm not going to put anybody down for doing their gimmick or whatever, but are
you talking about the diamond plate incident?
If it's
sparklers.
No. All I'm saying is if when you take no. And I know that I wasn't even bringing up Jericho or that or anything like that. I was just bringing up all the other dives that happen in every match. They're doing these dives for what reason? Nobody remembers them.
What about the Rikishi one off the cage with the Undertaker into the hay?
Yeah, they were trying to recreate a moment.
Yeah,
I think that was really bad. It didn't look good.
Richard, you brought up something about going back to watching the Mid-South. If the younger fans today watched that, they would be bored to tears.
No, they wouldn't. I don't think they would at all because they laid it in, man. Whenever they hit each other back then, they made contact.
It was full throttle. Yep, it was full throttle.
And I think that's what a lot of these guys nowadays, even though they're doing these spectacular, 450s and all these spectacular moves, people know that the other guy's cooperating with him. Back then, even though they weren't doing those big 450 splashes, whenever they hit each other, like they laid it in, and they would knock the crap out of each other, or it would look like they were knocking the crap out of each other, but they were a lot more stiff or snug, as we like to say in the business.
They were definitely stiff. I mean, I think about these little, you see all these, nowadays you see all these high flying stuff. Back then, you saw mainly mat wrestling, more
technical wrestling.
Headlocks, scissor locks.
Yes.
Arm bars.
And another thing is, back then, a lot of the guys today don't like the blade.
Well, you don't even have to. That's one of those things where back then they did it too much. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there was a lot of times where people thought that they were blading. No, they actually
And they didn't.
They made contact. That's what we call it a hard way.
Oh, yeah.
And
Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Look what Ric Flair and Ron Garvin would do to each other in '87. Ron Garvin and Ric Flair chopped each other so bad that they beat the skin off each other's chests.
Oh, they were raw.
Yeah.
They were beat raw.
And you know, guys don't do that anymore. They'll chop a few times or whatever, but they don't lay it in. And then I'm just saying, you don't have to do all these dives where you're actually ending, you know, possibly ending your career if you don't land it right. To where you could do something to where I'm going to post something on the page in Wide World of Belts. I'm going to post a match. It's the I Broke Wahoo's leg match from from 1970.
I want that T-shirt.
It's the actual match where Wahoo's legs, Greg Valentine, quote unquote, breaks his leg for the Mid Atlantic Championship. And I want you guys to watch that. There's no spots in that match. You're not going to see anybody go off the top rope or anything like that. But you tell me, you watch that match, and then you go watch anything from the two major companies right now.
I want to watch the Piper dog collar match.
Yeah, you tell me which looks more
It's
real.
on there too.
Yeah, you tell me which looks more real. You know what I mean? Any match from today or that match from 1977 or 78, whenever it was.
Or the Christmas 1982 Kerry Von Erich Ric Flair's cage match.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I watched that. I saw that.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I know you're a big fan of World Class there, Mark.
Me?
I was I was going
What ever
through
gave you
and,
that idea?
I found a Ric Flair interview, and he was talking about why they pulled the belt off. The plan was not to pull the belt off Kerry after just a couple of weeks or a month or whatever it was. I think he had it for 28 days, something like that. Maybe not.
Yeah. Less than a
14
month.
days.
Less than a month.
And unfortunately, as soon as they put the belt on Kerry, Kerry missed.
He missed a show in Florida. I know that.
Yeah, he missed the very first show he was supposed to defend the belt at, and unfortunately, that was what did Kerry in with a lot of the other companies too, and because Vince evidently had plans for him too, but then they found out about his foot later. But Kerry had missed that show, and I didn't know this. I knew that there was reasons why they didn't want to keep the belt on him, but I didn't know that he had that first show, and he totally no-showed it. Didn't call him, just didn't show up.
Wow.
I'd heard that just recently, but what I'd always heard, the story was that Flair was going to be on that super card with Steamboat in the Midlands, and he needed the title back because they needed him to defend the title against Steamboat. They needed the heel.
Good match. Good match.
Well,
Good match.
I don't know if that was the case or not, because the way I understood it, that was supposed to be like Kerry's big moment.
Yeah.
And Kerry was supposed to go up there and defend the belt against Steamboat. And Kerry no-showed, and I guess was going to go do those shows in Japan, and they called Flair and was like, get on a plane, go to Japan. We're putting you in a match against Kerry. You're taking the belt. We're bringing you back.
Yeah.
And like Flair, because Flair was wanting time off. He was wanting to go take some time off, because back then, they were still doing the territory thing, and he had to go, such and such Pacific Northwest, World Class, all these other territories.
He was on the road 360 days a year, I think it was.
Yeah. And he was wanting a break, and like, he was like, man, he's like, here I am getting ready to go on vacation. And I'm trying to remember who was president of the NWA at the time. I don't think it was Crockett yet.
Bob Geigel.
Geigel called him and said, "Hey, get on a plane, go to Japan. You're going to beat Von Erich over there. We need you to come back with the belt." And then when Flair went over and did it, they explained to him why. And he said his plans was to leave the belt with Kerry, so he could go on vacation for a while, and then they were going to do this big feud. Going back, what was it, summer of '84?
Let's see, he
85.
won. He
Yeah,
won it
probably.
he won it in May of '84.
Okay,
Kerry did.
yeah, and then he had lost it by June of '84,
Yeah.
and they were supposed to have a big, blow off thing the rest of the year between the two of them over the belt, and unfortunately that didn't happen. But you guys know David was really the one that was going to be groomed.
Yeah, David
To be-
was.
That's
Yeah.
that's the rumor. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It was
definitely,
pretty much a
definitely.
done deal, I think. I think when he came back from Japan, they were going to pull the trigger and put it on him for a while just to test, because they gave everybody like a little test run. They gave Dusty a test run with Harley. They gave Flair a test run because he was the dude that took it from Dusty
Mm-hmm.
for when Flair won it the first time, and that's how they would do it. They give him a little test run with the belt, and I think that they were going to let Kerry run with it for a couple of months, and then they were going to put it back on Flair, and then they were going to feud for it for the rest of the year. And unfortunately, that never came to pass. I would love to have seen David Von Erich.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He could
Yeah,
promo.
good.
He could promo.
Yeah, and he was great in the ring too. I mean, I'm not saying Kerry wasn't, but there was
He was my favorite of all of them.
Yeah.
David was leaps and bounds better than Kerry.
Yeah,
And-
Andy, if you're not a member of HWV, you should check it out.
Oh, I'm a member.
Oh, okay.
I'm a
Yeah.
member. I am a member, and I will be there. I will find time to sit back and watch everybody's promos and judge. They were trying to get me to participate, and I was like, man, I really don't have time for that, because I not only do I do the ref stuff, but I also help train the students on Saturdays. So, and a lot of my off time is spent, going over stuff with them throughout the week. Because they'll come to me, hey, blah, 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 this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. Here's how you do it. And you did it. And so there's no way I could actually participate. But being a judge, yeah, I can definitely do that.
I have fun doing it. The only thing is my voice hates me at the end of the night.
Yeah, I know why. We got 3 minutes left. I want to throw something out there. I do the Belt of the Week video every week, and it's always my collection. And I hinted at this, I think, either last week or the week before, that I'd like to include your belts in the Belt of the Week video. So what I thought about doing was having people send me pictures of their belts and just doing like a musical montage showing off the belts. But what I think I'm going to do instead, kind of like the Friday sales post, which, by the way, is tomorrow, creating a thread to say, show me your belts, tell me who made it, if it was relettered, who relettered it, give me some details about it. And then I can try to put together a video montage, maybe a minute, maybe feature about 10 or 15 belts or something like that. But I may experiment with that next week. I don't think I'll do the video next week. I have a tough enough time doing the Belt of the Week video, but I might try something like that. I want to see everybody else's belts, so
Okay, well, I
because
can.
my collection is small, you can only see the same belt so many times.
Right,
before
well,
you
I
burned
can
out.
shoot. I know you guys have more than what I have. So
You could always do a member of the month and their favorite belt,
Yeah,
and
yeah, we can do that.
do one or two every month.
Mhm.
But
I used
I'm
to do
still.
a thing,
Go
I
ahead.
used to do a thing in wrestling belt reviews where I would do a champion of the day, and
Yeah.
I would like
That's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah, Andy did that, and I don't know if I'd have the patience to do that every day.
not
I
every
always,
day, but I was thinking maybe you take some of the pictures from the group and kind of just kind of go through and say, hey, champion of the week or whatever, and show off so and so with their belt. You know what I mean, or something. That's just an idea, but I'm more than happy to shoot a video of.
and I might could just take it off the Wednesday World Title Wednesday, but that's only World Heavyweight Championships. I want other belts incorporated, so I may create a separate thread, like on a Monday or something like that.
Tuesdays.
Yeah,
There you go.
Title Tuesdays. Yeah, we could do that. Then I could pluck some of those pictures out, and we may not have to have a lot of details, just who owns the belt and what it is, and just
Show
do a
us your
video
belts.
montage.
Share your collections.
In Weber collection, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But our time is up for this week. I want to thank my our loyal viewers. You're the best. Let's add to the Ben Walker. Yeah, that guy's got a collection. Him and Jermaine both.
Drew Raniel, yeah.
But let's get this group, the Facebook group, up to 1,000 members. Let's get this belt given away. Join us next week. I hope to have a guest on next week. We'll see what the weather has to say about it.
There you go.
But I want to thank Richard, Andy, Jim, and Lane for joining me once again. Always a pleasure.
Pleasure to do so.
Richard,
Thank you for
It's
having me.
awesome to have me on.
man. I
Good to
love
see
doing
y'all
this, man.
again,
I have a lot of
folks.
fun.
Oh, by the way, before we go, I got one more thing. I got a job interview tomorrow.
Well, good
And,
luck.
Good
I
luck.
haven't. Thank you. I haven't properly prepared for it, but if you're a praying person, just pray for me. Not
There you
that I
go.
get the job, but that I don't screw up the interview. So,
You got it, man.
but I appreciate it.
I have a doctor's appointment in the morning. It's just to follow up for my. So
Yeah, it's in the same agency where I'm working. It's just different. It's a higher level position. So,
awesome. Okay.
but I appreciate that. And well,
Hey,
I should know something in a couple of weeks if I don't pass out and screw up the interview. But thanks
You
for
got this.
everybody for joining us tonight. Thanks to the new viewers. Thank you, Nora, as usual. We'll plan to see you again next week at this same time. So everybody have a good week, and we will
Jimmy,
talk.
Andy, Richard, see y'all.
We will talk to
Thanks
you
for
next
tuning
time.
in, Josh.
Take care, Lane.
Take
Have a
care,
good
y'all.
night, everybody.
Take care,
All
everybody.
right.